Hey there, welcome back to my kitchen and a very autumnal farm share veggie haul. Today was the last pickup day for our CSA for this season, and I was not specifically planning to do a video to do a haul of this, but we just got such a beautiful haul of fall produce, and there are some things in this basket that you don't see every day the grocery store, and some of this produce I had never seen in its full form before we started getting food from the farm. And we've been doing this for quite a few years now, over 10 years, and I've done a couple other of these veggie hauls where I've talked more about the CSA and how it works. So today, I really want to focus on this beautiful, lush produce and the really cool sounds that it makes. So, like I said, I had some other videos I was planning on doing first, but this is pretty darn fall-y, and I wanted to share. And you will be able to hear my stove in the background. We have a fireplace with a wood pellet heating stove in it, so you can hear the fan of that, and you can hear a little bit of the tink, 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 tink of the little wood pellets falling down through the auger to be burnt. And so I hope you enjoy that white noise. It is the season now where we need to be cozy, so if I'm going to be in the kitchen, we will have to have the stove. So anyway, the first thing we got as part of our CSA share was this beautiful pumpkin. So I just laid it right out here for you to see, and everyone in the CSA got one pumpkin this week, and this one has a really nice curly Q kind of stem, and I think we are going to try to carve this one. I haven't carved a pumpkin in probably 6 or 7 years. We had good friends that we used to carve pumpkins with every year, and then they moved to a different part of the country, and we kind of stopped that tradition. So this year I actually bought one of those little books that has patterns in it, and it comes with the little pumpkin carving tools, which, you know, usually only work one time, but do serve their purpose. And so that may be another video with the pumpkin carving book, at least. I don't know if the actual pumpkin carving would be ASMR worthy, because it might be kind of loud and stabby, and I might, you know, do some light cursing or something as I'm trying to get the pieces out. I mean, carving a pumpkin can be a little challenging sometimes. But anyway, now I'm just dragging this out. But I wanted you to see the pumpkin. And down here in front of the pumpkin, we have 2 little gourds. 2 beautiful little fall gourds. And we actually picked up quite a few gourds at the farm stand. Those were not part of our share. That was something extra they had for sale. And I'm not really that into like Halloween decor or fall decor. as far as like household decorations. But I love to decorate with natural things, with gourds and pumpkins and things like that. So I am planning to do a whole other video with the gourds because I want to do that in a quieter, more studio-like setting, so that you can hear them better. But this is just a preview. And look at how cute this one is. It's like orange and green. Little Cinderella pumpkin. So, I know you're like, Devin, what is all this crazy green stuff over here? Please show us. We know what a pumpkin is, but what's going on over here? So let's get into it. I'm gonna pull up my sleeves here. And one more distraction. I went to a fall festival over the weekend, and I bought this very cute hoodie there, which was from a local screen printer, and it has this beautiful yarrow design. And yarrow is one of my favorite wildflowers and herbs. So I got this yarrow hoodie. So I'll put a link to the maker because they have a lot of clothes with really cool patterns that they create, artwork that they create that is screen printed onto it. So the first thing I'm going to pull out of here is one of my most beloved CSA treasures, and that is celery. This is a celery. Have you ever seen a celery like this? I mean, seriously, I'm gonna get a little dramatic about the celery. I mean, usually when we see celery, it's pretty pale. You don't usually see it with all of its beautiful leaves attached, which are very tasty, and just as yummy as the stalks. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I did. I wanted to get in some more vegetable tapping this year, and it just hadn't happened yet, so here we are. So I couldn't be more thrilled with the celery. We did get some celery earlier in the season, and then it has kind of a little resurgence at the end of the season, but seriously, I mean, look at the size of this thing. And so I will definitely do some processing of these veggies, probably right after I finish filming this video, and I will chop up this celery. I usually have the stalks, pieces of the stalks in a container, so I can pull from that if I want to use them in soup or something, and then we can also just chomp on them. This celery will take your ants on a log to a whole new level, let me tell you. Sorry, celery. I really love the celery sound. So this is the celery, and then I will separate the leaves, and I really like to use them in soup, to chop them up and mix them into a soup that I will then puree with other greens, and I really add a nice flavor to it. So I really try to use the fresh celery from top to tail when I get it, because it's just so beautiful. So if you ever have a chance to buy celery direct, from a farm stand or at a farmer's market or something like that, do it, even if you don't think you like celery. It tastes delicious, and usually celery doesn't have much of a taste, but it just tastes very fresh and verdant. It's fun to ramble about the vegetables, but I also want to give them time to, say what they would like to say to you. Thank you, Celery. Thank you, Celery. You're a good plant. Yes, I whisper affection to my vegetables sometimes. I think that helps me digest them better. So, okay, let's see what else we have in here. Next up, this is another one of those things you may not have seen in its native form. Pardon the sounds of my basket here. These, oh, which way are they? Where are they fastened? Okay. These are edamame. These are edamame beans still on their stalk. And I didn't know until we started getting our farm share that edamame could grow in New England. Who knew? And so they grow it right down the road. And it's just really cool to have. I love edamame. And so there are two different ways that I usually prepare this. You can just kind of clip off the beans, the whole beans. These are pretty tough stems, so it takes kind of some work to process these, but you can clip off the little individual beans, and then you can kind of roast those whole, and then pull the edamame between your teeth and pull the beans out of the pod. That's kind of the traditional way. Sometimes you get them, at a sushi restaurant or something like that. Or you can just shell the beans like you would shell any bean and then cook them. And the last ones we had, that's what I did. I shelled them. My mom was here and she helped me shell them, so I appreciate that. And then I just kind of blanched them, boiled them for a little bit so they were cooked. And then I fried them in the skillet and got them crispy and put salt and pepper on them, and they were crispy edamame that we just kind of ate as a snack. And they were super good. And these are also really nice to freeze. So these will, they have a little bit of leeway. They'll give me a little time to process them. They'll stay fresh in their pods for a while. So I don't have to do these today, but they are a nice, really unique thing to have. And they do have them rubber banded together down here at the bottom. So I will just show you one so you can see what it looks like in here. Because edamame pods, they're kind of scratchy, they're kind of barbed almost a little bit. Edamame pod ASMR. There you go. So, fresh edamame. Okay, next up, a couple, a little bit more mainstream things. We have this lovely red pepper, and I will admit I've been wanting to tap on a pepper all season because I think they have a neat sound. I think their structure and how hollow they are inside makes for a neat sound. You can tell me which vegetable you think sounds the nicest. This one smells really good. So, red pepper. We got lots and lots of peppers throughout the season. Mild bell peppers like this and hot peppers, so it's been a good season for that. For red pepper. And then also, to go along with that, our last little eggplant of the season. And as I suspected, I thought the eggplant would sound nice up close to the microphone. It's another one that's got a nice texture and sound. Eggplant and pepper. I don't really eat a lot of nightshades because they don't always agree with me, so I will probably make those into some kind of little sauce that my husband will enjoy. And I didn't even think I realized we got this. We got a lettuce. And boy, you know, that's another thing, that farm fresh lettuce is very different from grocery store lettuce in terms of its flavor and nutrition. And I have lots of happy memories of eating lettuce that my grandpa grew, my dad's dad, that he grew in his garden. And my grandma would make these really simple salads just with the lettuce and the little onions, the little spring onions, kind of like green onions, scallions from the garden that he grew. And like a really simple little dressing. It was just like, you know, probably mayo with a little bit of sugar and salt and pepper, and it was really, really good and refreshing. And that's a happy summer memory of my childhood. So this lettuce is a little damp and a little drippy, and I don't want to drip on my microphone. So lettuce, I'm going to put you over there. Stay, lettuce, stay. Okay, lettuce is secure. And okay, so next I might as well go ahead and pull out the star of the show here. Look at this stalk of Brussels sprouts. I mean, holy cow. Look, okay, I put it on the table next to me. It's humongous. It is humongous. And, you know, usually when you see Brussels sprouts, they are already off of their stalk. So if you didn't know that they grew this way, this is how they grow. And you can see that the central stalk here is quite hefty, and then the individual sprouts grow out from that middle stalk. So, I mean, they're very dramatic looking, and it was really cool at the farm to see a whole pile of these, you know, and everybody got to take one home. And we have had these in the past, and one year we got 2 stalks of them, and after we had eaten them, you better believe that Justin and I had a really great sword fight, like lightsaber style, with the Brussels sprout stalks until they were like completely dilapidated and broken and fallen apart, and we had so much fun. So I highly recommend buying Brussels sprouts on stock, enjoying them, and then using them as a lightsaber in your next game of, you know, make-believe sword play. So anyway, I just really wanted to show you these, and so, you know, I'll do just one of these. You kind of just take it off, and then you have your little Brussels sprout. And, you know, they do also take a good bit of prep because you need to remove all these from the stem, and then you you cut the ends off and rinse them because, you know, they probably have dirt embedded in them since they were grown in the ground, which is wonderful. and then I usually cut them in half. And you know, there are a lot of different things you could do with Brussels sprouts, but roasting them I think really is the most delicious, and they get nice and crispy, and you can use different marinades and things, and just massage my Brussels sprouts here and give them a little bit of love. It's a little bit tricky to tap on. Oh, there's another one. Maybe I've invented a new way of prepping your Brussels sprouts, as if you tap on them, then they will fall off. So anyway, here, once again, is my giant. I mean, seriously, it's like, hey. I mean, you just don't get to do this every day, right? Like, kind of, you know. I mean, I need to have two hands to hold it. This basket was very, very heavy to get back to the cars. Anyway, here are my Brussels sprouts. And, you know, I can sort of just like, you know, hang out around town with them if I wanted to. So they're going to be a big part of my kitchen planning this week. So anyway, Brussels sprouts. Now I'm making this giant pile here in front. We'll see how this goes. I never plan these things out ahead of time, but since these two little Brussels sprouts decided that they wanted to come out and play, they can star in the ASMR video. And if you think you don't like Brussels sprouts, you know, give them another chance. I mean, they are cruciferous, which means, you know, they might bring a little air into your life. But if you eat them well spiced with some, you know, some black pepper and whatever other spices you like. Just listening to how those sound without the microphone, it's amazing what you can pick up. Okay, I'll stop rambling about Brussels sprouts. Although I know that is what you signed up for when you clicked on this video, so I should never apologize for my rambling. Okay, I will put down these two little Brussels sprouts so that I can show you what else is in here. Okay, I think I'll start. We have a bunch of winter squashes in here. And this first one is an acorn squash because it is shaped like an acorn. And acorn squashes are pretty hard. They have a pretty thick outer skin. So I usually roast them whole and then worry about taking the inside seeds and things out after it's already cooked and soft, because that's a little easier. And the upside of them being hard is that they will last a long time. So this is a good storage one. I don't have to worry about using this one up right away. I can keep it further into the fall and winter season. So okay, I think I will put it over here. And then I might as well tackle these beautiful greens. We have a bunch of beautiful dinosaur kale, and I do love my kale, friends. I do. I mean, I don't know, maybe kale's like passe now, but it's still cool to me. And my favorite way to make kale is to just, you know, take it off the middle rib, rip it up, wash it in my salad spinner, and then I put it in a skillet with just a little bit of water and put a lid on it and kind of steam saute it. And in about, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 minutes, you can really get the kale to a nice tender consistency, especially this dinosaur kale, which is a little, I think, softer than the curly kale. And then I make a little sauce with tahini and lemon juice and olive oil and maple syrup. Just eyeball it, mix each of those things together. And then I coat the steamed kale in it. And holy moly, it is so delicious. I could eat so much of that. So, you know, I really do aspire to do more cooking videos here. I just kind of haven't figured out the logistics of it. But maybe I'll show you how I make my kale someday. But there's your tip. Steam your greens and put a delicious sauce on them. And I mean, that delicious sauce can be, you know, your favorite barbecue sauce or ranch sauce or whatever you buy that you like. Put some of it on your greens and they'll be delicious. And, you know, don't think, oh, the sauce is bad for me. It's worth it if you're eating the greens. Devin said so. So just, you know, eat the greens. That's the most important thing. And speaking of eating your greens, these are collard greens. And they're so beautiful. And again, like, look how big these are. These are like bigger than my face. I can look at you through the holes in the collard greens. I mean, seriously, look, I can fan you like royalty. Yes, my dear friend, you deserve the beautiful collard leaf. They're so beautiful. I love collard greens. I cook them the same way I cook kale. Another cool thing you can do with collard greens is to, you know, just kind of cut the rib out, and then you have these big pieces, and you can steam the pieces and then use them as wraps, like to roll up fillings in, you know, like you would a tortilla or another kind of wrap. And they're just really tasty, and that's a fun way to use up your collards. Greens are so beautiful. All of their beautiful veins. And I just think about these hardy greens, you know, and just how much energy they have in them, you know, to stay hardy and lush and green like this, even into the cold weather. And it's just a real blessing that they share that energy with us. And I like to think about that when I eat my food, you know. I mean, it really is a miracle that this food will turn into my body. And that's something I try not to take for granted. Okay, 2 more squashes in here. And this is a big one. This, okay, I always get a little mixed up with these squashes, so forgive me if I am incorrect on this. This is, I think, Kabocha or Kabocha Squash, which is spelled Kaboch. And sometimes they're more green, and sometimes they're more orange, or both. They kind of look like a really bright pumpkin often. And I actually think this is the bottom stem here that I'm showing you, and this is the top. Again, like I said, it kind of looks like a pumpkin stem. And this type of squash is used a lot in Indian cooking and in curries and things like that. And it's really delicious. It has a very deep orange flesh, squash flesh. As a vegetarian, I always feel a little bit weird saying flesh. But this is another one that will last because it is thick-skinned. And so it will go into my autumn-winter larder of beautiful food. Okay, last squash in here. This one's so cute. It's very round. And this one is a spaghetti squash. And often when you see spaghetti squash, they are more ovular. They're kind of longer and skinnier, but this variety is a cute little round one. And if you've never eaten spaghetti squash, it's very unique in that when you cook it and cook the inside flesh of the squash And once it's soft, it sort of comes apart in strings and looks very much like spaghetti. And so you can kind of serve it like you would serve spaghetti. And it's really yummy. And it's just fun because you can steam it. I usually just, cut it in half and roast it in the oven, and then you can take your fork and pull out all the little strands of squash. And it's really fun. And spaghetti squash is a bit thinner skinned, so I will put this one on my menu a little sooner. But again, this amazing bounty and bevy of squash. I love that I'm now just surrounding myself. Okay, friends, so that, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm going to move this, because I think if I move my basket, this entire avalanche of greens and Brussels sprouts is going to go on the floor. So I'm going to just not touch that. Let's just leave that as it is, shall we? Okay. Because I do have just a few more things to show you. I don't even know if you could see over here that I have another little, not little actually, pretty big canvas bag with a few more things in it. In here we have, are you ready? A big old butternut squash. And because this was the end of the season, the last CSA, they really stocked us up on squash and a few other things, which you'll see in a moment. Things that are storage vegetables, which is very generous of them. So this will see us through in the coming weeks. So, giant butternut squash. I will put it over here. And then 2 more items in here. These are in their own little mesh bag. And this was something new to our CSA before. I had never seen these before. These are Lima beans in their pod. Look how giant that bean pod is. Aren't they cool? And so I have this whole, tremendous bag of them. It's more than we got the last time. We got some a few weeks ago. So, I will shell these. And these are another one that, I can probably do one for you here, but I actually used a knife, to cut the ends off of these. It's not like, shell peas where you can just, kind of do them yourself. It would be hard on your hands, but let's see. Alright, this one I'll just kind of rip apart. Sounds pretty cool. So you can see, there's a little cross section, the lima beans on the inside. So if I rip this all the way open, actually a pretty cool sound. You can see that inside here there are 4 little lima beans. So I'm going to remove those lima beans. How fun. So then I have this little shell that will get composted. And then we have the little lima beans. And the other lima beans that we got, I just steamed them and ate them with butter and salt and pepper. I think some of those I crisped up in the skillet and had on toast, and it was very tasty. Kind of a beans on toast variety. Lima beans. Okay, I'll put my already shelled lima beans over here, and I definitely wanted to see what one of these pods sounded like. on it. Lima beans. So I don't know, lima beans are another one of those things that maybe you had to eat when you were a little kid and didn't like them, but give them another chance because they're really yummy. And they always make me think of succotash, which is lima beans and corn, and I don't know if that's just a southern United States thing or if that is eaten in other parts of the country. Okay, or other parts of the world. I'm getting into my lima beans here. Okay, so there's another one. If you've never seen them before, lima beans in their original form, in their native habitat. My lima beans. Okay, and then the last thing in this bag is a whole bunch of potatoes, which are also good for storage. So we have quite a few. I think we got 4 pounds of potatoes today. So we have quite a few of these lovely Yukon Gold ones, which are thinner skinned, yellow fleshed potatoes, which are creamy and delicious. And we will use a little sooner because they are, again, a little more thin skinned. So we got quite a few of those. And I don't know if I will, they might be kind of loud, so I might leave them down in the bag. And then we also got some beautiful red potatoes, which we can store for a little longer. Beautiful red potatoes. So that, I think, is everything in here. Oh, I'll show you. And that's the thing about potatoes. They're so fun. Like here's a really big, giant red potato. And then check out this little potato. He's like a little potato person. He's like, hey guys, I'm a potato guy. I'm gonna star in the ASMR video. Or he could be like a bowling pin or like an exclamation point, you know? It's like, you know, write, be like, hi, I am a potato. Yeah. So, yeah, he's pretty fun. So, I guess little potato person gets to be the grand finale of our video. Thank you for hanging out with me and my bounty. I mean, I just feel so incredibly blessed and overwhelmed with the literal abundance of having beautiful, delicious, nutritious food available to me. And so I just wanted to share that with you today. And I just encourage you to, you know, eat some vegetables, whatever appeals to you, whatever is accessible to you. It doesn't have to look like what I do, but just thinking about what food would really feel nourishing to your body, you know, during this season, if you're in the same part of the world I am, where things are getting cooler and the air's getting a little drier, you know, just thinking about warm, moist, comforting foods, you know, like these squashes and potatoes and, you know, nourishing greens. And it's just a really, really nice time of the year to nourish yourself and slow down a little bit and focus on giving your body the good grounded energy that it needs, because eating root vegetables and things that grow in the ground will help you feel more grounded. And of course, you know, eating a wide variety of plants will give you the nutrition and the things that you need for your body to be healthy and energetic and help you do the things you want to do. So, thank you for being here with me. and all my pumpkins and my Brussels sprouts. I wanted to like do those one more time. Thanks for hanging out with me in my kitchen. I hope you're having a beautiful autumn season. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you again